Hi, my name is Angela, and welcome to Natural Health KE, where we look at natural healing solutions. I'm here to tell you that cancer doesn't need to be a death sentence. In 2017, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I was terrified to say the least. You see, my mom and my aunt both passed away from breast cancer, and my uncle from leukemia. So I did a lot of research trying to find an option, a treatment option that would work for me. In my research, I came across something known as nutritional therapy, which is a component of functional medicine. You see, functional medicine looks at treating the root cause of disease rather than just the symptoms. Today, we will look at the link between inflammation and cancer. Let's start by understanding what inflammation is. There are two types of inflammation: acute inflammation and chronic inflammation. You will experience acute inflammation, say when you have a sore throat or you have fallen down and injured yourself. You will observe swelling and perhaps feel pain and, a soreness to the area. This is your body's immune system responding by sending blood and white blood cells to the area to heal. When you're healed, the inflammation subsides. Acute inflammation is usually short term. Chronic inflammation, on the other hand, is not so obvious. It's silent in inflammation. You may not necessarily feel it nor see it. It's said to be the cause of diabetes, hypertension, and even cancer. So, what causes inflammation? The first cause of inflammation starts in your gut. Did you know that 60 to 70% of your immune system resides in your gut? Why? This is because the gut is the first place of entry for foreign materials. What foreign materials, might you ask? Food, what you consume. In your gut, we have the gut microbiome. The microbiome is a community of microorganisms such as bacteria, fungi, viruses, protozoa that, if kept in healthy balance, aid in nutrient absorption and also digestion. The problem comes in when we overload a system with a floodgate of foreign materials. These are things that the body doesn't recognize as nutrients. And the gut microbiome balance is distorted. That's when you get inflammation. You see, the gut microbiome is meant to keep the good things in or allow the good things in and keep the bad out. So inflammation begins when we destabilize this balance. The second cause of inflammation is refined sugar and refined carbohydrates that we are consuming today in unprecedented amounts. Because we're consuming such huge amounts of refined sugar and refined carbohydrates, we develop something called insulin resistance as our body tries to pump out more and more insulin to cope with the amount of sugars that we are consuming. So, what is the relationship between inflammation and cancer? You see, we all have cancer cells circulating in our bodies, but a healthy immune system is able to eliminate these cells on a daily basis. But when you have high levels of insulin circulating in your body, it activates an inflammatory response and it causes certain cells to reproduce or multiply. This particular type of cells may lead to breast cancer, colon cancer, and prostate cancer. So when we look at the gut and we have looked at how our consumption of refined sugars and carbohydrates is causing inflammation. Thirdly, let's look at chronic stress. Chronic stress is inflammatory. Economic, political, and social issues that we face in the world today are driving our anxiety through the roof. Besides that, research shows that adverse childhood events, trauma that you experienced when you were growing up, can carry on into adulthood as stress. Stress, for one, also causes insulin resistance. Long-term stress also causes the production of a hormone called cortisol. Cortisol is also known as your fight or flight hormone that is useful when you're in danger because it alerts you of the danger and allows you to run off. But long-term production of cortisol causes inflammation. Today we're sleeping fewer hours. We're meant to sleep 6 to 7 hours in a night. So we are preventing the body from healing and repairing itself, which happens when you sleep. And, that reduces inflammation in the body. Another major cause of inflammation is the lack of exercise. When you do not exercise, it leads to poor blood circulation. So the blood cannot reach the cells with the nutrients and the oxygen that those cells require. What happens? The cells become stressed and they release chemicals, compounds that cause inflammation. But when you exercise, on the other hand, your cells produce chemicals that reduce inflammation. So it's very, very important to exercise. There are other causes of inflammation, such as toxins in our environment, pollution, smoke, chemicals, also chemicals that we may not be aware of that are all around us in our homes, in the detergents that we use, in our personal body care products. These act as hormone disruptors. And when your hormones are disrupted, you get inflammation. So you might ask, how do I tell if I have inflammation? Well, the big ones, the obvious ones that I've mentioned earlier, hypertension, heart disease, rheumatoid arthritis, dementia, those are quite obvious. The other ones that you may not think are caused by inflammation could be you may be experiencing gut issues, mood disorders, depression, food allergies, just to name a few. So if you take a pill to treat these diseases, are you actually addressing the root cause? As I look back to my life prior to my cancer diagnosis, I realized that I was experiencing very many issues, such as poor gut health. I felt fatigued all the time. I had huge sugar cravings. I wasn't exercising and I was not paying attention to the things that I consumed or my personal care products or the things around me in my home. Before we move on to how to deal with inflammation, I'd like to ask you to kindly like, share, and subscribe to our channel. So what can we do to reduce inflammation? Certain foods, such as processed foods and junk foods, refined sugars, and refined carbohydrates, trigger inflammation. Highly refined oils, such as margarine, and certain vegetable oils, like corn oil, are not good for you. Processed meats, such as hot dogs, bacon, sausages, are not good for you. We also have a lot of artificial additives like food preservatives, food flavor, food color, that I added into our foods today, big allergens are wheat, dairy, and eggs. What did I do? I made the decision to cut out all processed foods, all junk foods, all refined sugars and refined carbohydrates from my diet. So I cut out cakes, pastries, bread, pasta, uh, and wheat from my diet. I also cut out all refined or unhealthy oils. I replaced refined carbohydrates with complex carbohydrates. What do I mean? Things like legumes such as lentils and a variety of beans. Instead of white rice, I replace that with brown rice. In Kenya, we have foods such as chapatis and mandazis, which are made out of wheat and are cooked in unhealthy seed oils. So I excluded them from my diet. I changed my cooking oil from the seed oils to coconut oil, which can be used for high temperature cooking and also has health benefits. For salads, I use oils such as macadamia oil or olive oil. One can even use avocado oil. As I was healing from cancer, I went completely vegan. What does this mean? I cut out all meat and all animal products, including dairy and eggs. You see, for me, I wanted to be sure that I was eliminating any source of inflammation. And my decision was also informed by the testimonies of those who had healed from cancer and they had done the same thing. There are arguments that red meat doesn't put one at risk of developing cancer. However, there are two studies done by Mariam Favid, a fellow at Harvard University in 2014. They measured the diets of young women from adolescence to early adulthood, where the mammary glands seem to be more susceptible to carcinogens. The study discovered that having one serving of meat a day put these women at 22% higher risk of developing breast cancer in their latter years. I consumed a lot of red meat. So I really just wanted to eliminate all chances of anything that would cause inflammation in my body. Now I take fish. Um, I still don't consume red meat, even though I may take a few bites here and there, but I am cautious about it. I take more legumes such as lentils and also a variety of beans. Also incorporate prebiotic foods. These are foods that feed my microbiome, such as cabbage, onions, garlic, turmeric. In addition, I also take probiotics to support my gut microbiome. It's important to incorporate variety when it comes to your fruits and vegetables. So include broccoli, include leafy greens, include green apples, berries, turmeric, ginger, garlic to your diet. I also eat huge salads. So none of these small little poxy salads that you get when you are served in a restaurant. I have a whole bowl of salad in which I incorporate different types of lettuce. So iceberg is not the only lettuce available. In fact, iceberg lettuce has very few nutrients. So incorporate romaine lettuce. These are some of those, the curly type lettuces. Also solanova lettuce. I add bell peppers, the red and yellow peppers. You can also add beetroot, can add French beans, cauliflower, basically to get your mix, your diverse, the variety that you're looking for. On top of this, I use macadamia oil as a dressing or even apple cider vinegar. There are many options out there, and I shall be discussing food options in later videos. So please stay with us. Another key ingredient in my health journey was juicing of vegetables. Take note, juicing of vegetables, not fruit. So, as a rule of thumb, I eat my fruit and I juice my vegetables. You juice your vegetables, you get a high concentration of nutrients in one glass. I will do videos on this in future. I incorporated supplements to help me along my health journey. I also began to take exercise very seriously and also started reducing toxins in my personal care products. So I really, looked at everything in the house, all the products I was using, whether it is body wash or deodorants, and started making changes there. I hope you have enjoyed this video and have learned something new. What changes shall you make in your diet starting today? Kindly like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more content.